For today. So welcome to our Unity Burning Bowl service. We have the service on the last Sunday of the year. And the Burning Bowl is about releasing and letting go so we can get out of the way, let God do its thing through us, for us, as us. We let God do its thing through us, for us, as us, because that's how we access our inner resourcefulness and the inner resources and the God qualities, greater good, expanding our territory, all that you can imagine that's wonderful, that you would love to experience. We got to get out of the way by releasing and letting go, to let that all happen through us. And so that's the whole purpose of the Burning Bowl ceremony, which will happen after service today. Letting go is not just about picking out a thought and saying, okay, I'm just going to let that go. I did that for years. Like I would write down, I'm just going to release this and let it go, and I'd burn it, and then like the next day I'd be going back to doing my same old thing. The same old way I always did it. Because I did not realize that letting go is not just about finding that thought that bothered us. Oh, I want to let this go. I want to stop making assumptions. I want to stop, expecting this or worrying about that. I want to stop doing those things. What we're actually doing is we're letting go of the behavior that follows that thought. Okay? We have what's called a mental tendency. Ernest Holmes talks about this. Our mental tendency is the way we think on autopilot. It's the way we think when we're not thinking about what we're thinking about. And the way we think, especially on autopilot, is always followed by a reaction. We're not participating with life, we are reacting to life. So, our goal is to find the thought that triggers that behavior, and we're going to let go of both the thought and the behavior that is triggered by the thought while we're on autopilot. Now, a lot of us pick up stuff when we're young. We get programming, right? We just pick up programming. Something outside of us is controlling what we can or can't do. Now, of course, kids have parents that are basically, parents are shepherding their children. So I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about when a teacher says something like, well, you're just not keeping up. You're not paying attention. You're not focused, right? When teachers or other adults, or we have other experiences then that trigger a feeling within us where as we grow older, we'll blame things outside of ourselves. So we might blame, like somebody might say, well, I come from a broken family and they were always fighting all the time, so I can't even imagine trying to make a relationship work, right? Or, I didn't go to college, or I grew up on the wrong side of the tracks, or the weather, the pandemic, the government, right? There's something outside of us then that we're blaming. And that is going to need to be released. But sometimes we don't realize that there's blaming an outside force. So then we look to the next level of blame, which is, so I won't even try. Yeah, my parents, they fought all the time, then they went through a horrible divorce. Relationships, man, you can't count on them. All men are crazy. All women are crazy. You just got to look out, Or I'm not even going to try to get a real job, or to have my dream job, because everybody knows you have to get a real job where they hire you and you stay there and you work your whole life, and then you get to retire, recover. You retire and you recover from having that same job because it's safe, right? It's safe. It's not safe to be self-employed. It's not safe to run a business, right? And so we've got these kinds of, so I'm not even going to try. Okay, how about, this one, physical fitness and well-being. How many of us examine that at the beginning of every year? Oh, but get up at 4:30 to go work out? That's awfully hard, right? We got all kinds of stuff we say around treating these bodies better, all kinds of stuff that we say. The releasing and the letting go is going to be about getting things out of our life that are not serving us, that are keeping us from having what we want. Releasing and letting go, when we really examine it, it's going to be stuff we're just like, why did I ask? This is going to be so hard. Like, in our fantasy of the ceremony and the ritual of it all, it's, there are rainbows and crystals and incense, and we're just like, I'm just going to let this go. But in reality, we are doing a work, we are doing a practice. Otherwise, we're not actually letting anything go. What we're doing is we're changing a physical behavior that's followed, that's triggered by a thought. Sometimes we'll have a thought and our reaction is to say yes to something, even though we really want to say no, but we say yes because, well, if I say no, to doing this thing, then somebody won't like me and I won't have approval. So I'm just going to say yes, even though I don't mean it. Or it's the other way around. I want to say yes, but that would be really scary. So I'm just going to say no, so I can stay in my comfort zone. I can stay where everything's familiar and nothing will surprise me. Even though I really want to say yes, it seems like it would be really, really fun, but oh my gosh, it would be really scary. What if I fail? Well, then everybody will be laughing at me, and I'll be ashamed. Okay, so we have a lot of safe behaviors that we do that are reactions to our environment. And those are the behaviors we have to let go, but we have to recognize that we're doing it. The things that we have to let go have an energetic weight. They have an energetic weight. And when we're carrying that weight, we can't work on our dreams. We can't focus on the things we want to create. So I thought, what better way to really get this point across, because it took me years to understand this, to release and let go. I'm going to have to work hard at it. I'm going to have to do something hard. I'm going to have to do something I probably don't want to do. And so I have 3 volunteers that are first of all going to help me. So Nick and Taylor and Adam, could you come stand up here at the front of the room? Now, friends, you notice all around you, you see these balloons, right? See balloons. Balloons represent our hopes and our dreams. And what I'm going to have these young men do is they're going to walk down the middle row and you're going to be throwing balloons at them, these hopes and their dreams. And they are going to keep as many in the air as they possibly can. All right? So are you ready? Grab some balloons. Come on. All right, guys, start walking. Right? And you keep as many of these in the air as you can. Right? Look at all this focus, right? I want to see somebody try to eat an ice cream cone when they're keeping these balloons in the air. Okay? That's a lot. Now, see, this is inspiration. These are our dreams. They come at us, and they're doing okay. There's a lot of balloons out there, I guess. All right, guys, come on, grab some balloons, grab a couple balloons. In fact, pick up all the balloons and throw them back out into the congregation. Throw them all back out, make people catch them. Now it's their turn to catch up. Our hopes and our dreams, our inspirations, they come at us a lot like these balloons come at us. Okay, they come out of nowhere, and they take a lot of focus. Okay, Taylor, don't sit down. Come back up here. Now, no. Stay up here, guys. We're doing it one more time. You guys are going to throw balloons at them one more time. But Taylor is going to demonstrate, grab balloons. Taylor is going to demonstrate what happens to us when we are carrying stuff that needs to be let go of. How heavy are those weights, Taylor?
25 pounds each.
25 pounds each. Yeah. Can I feel one?
Sure.
Oh my God. It's really heavy. Now, these guys are going to walk down the center of the sanctuary again. You're going to throw balloons at them again. And you're going to see the difference, okay? So go ahead, fellas, march down the aisle. Come on, throw balloons. Okay, yeah. No, Taylor, you're not supposed to make it look easy. Taylor.
Struggle.
Yeah, struggle a little more there, buddy. All right. Okay, you guys, you can sit down now. Give them a big hand.
Yay!
But I kid you not. When there's stuff that you have to release and let go, and you've been collecting it over the years, well, think about the story of Scrooge, A Christmas Carol. Okay, his friend, Jacob Marley, says he has that huge chain he's carrying behind him because it's all the stuff he didn't take care of in life. And he told Scrooge, yours was this long 7 years ago. And you've forged many links since then. Okay, but see, it doesn't happen after we pass from this world. We are carrying around these chains right now. It's the chains that we need to let go of. Okay, so Lily Tomlin said, forgiveness means giving up all hope for a better past. A better past. That's when we sit around and we think, if only that thing hadn't happened, my life would be so good right now. Right? If only this or that. What we're doing is we're carrying around our idea of how life should have been, but also that life took it away from us. For whatever reason, it didn't work out. It should have been. We want to forgive that and let it go. If you want to go after these hopes and these dreams that take our focus and energy, we can't reach for them if we're carrying those weights. So, all hope for a better past. Well, if only I had gone to college. If only I would have tried out for choir in the 10th grade. If only. We've all got our if onlys. We all have a list of those, okay? Releasing works with forgiving. They work together. Now, lots of us sit around and say, I just want to release this and let it go. But ask us to forgive something? Yeah, it's like, oh, I'm not ready yet. I'm not ready to forgive this thing yet. I'm still carrying the weight of that, and it's still hurting, so I still have to suffer with it a little longer. Okay, it's not as easy for us to forgive something, mostly because we think there's part of our mind that thinks, well, if I forgive them, then they're just getting away with it. But we're not forgiving for them. And often when we forgive somebody for something they did, they may not even know what we're talking about. Or they don't care. They're like, yeah, I don't need your forgiveness. Live your life. But our heart wants to forgive. Our heart wants to practice forgiveness because we drop those weights when we forgive. We drop those weights and we can be 100% here in this moment. That's the only way. We drop those weights through forgiveness. Okay, which means we're looking back, well, how might life have looked if only, I had applied for that job over there, moved to that house way over there. If I'd started a business, if I just hadn't started a business and got a real job. Right? There are some people that say that too. We're letting go of something that didn't turn out how we hoped it would. We're letting that go because we always are starting here in this moment to create the next best thing. We can't go back in time travel. We're not little time travelers. We're just not. Our soul's not meant to time travel. That's why all the weight, those weights are us thinking eventually we're going to time travel and go back and fix all that. Right? So we let go of that. Don Miguel Ruiz says, whatever life takes away from you, let it go. Just let it go. We don't even have to try to justify stuff. Oh, life took it away from me. I guess the universe just didn't want me to have that. We don't even have to try justifying. Life took this away, and I'm really sad about it, or I feel betrayed by it, or I'm heartbroken over it. But if I want to move forward where I am right now, like I'm a creator, I'm here to create, so I can either let that go, or I can hang on to it. So what do I want to do? See, if we don't let go of this stuff, next year, we're going to be writing a list about it again. That's what we're going to do. So here's our call to action. So I'll start with our affirmation. And we can just say it together. I release, forgive, let go, and let spirit run my life. Now I'm going to let you know something. You do not have all the time in the world. You may think that you've got all the time to make this dream happen. But I'll tell you, when I was in my 20s, I thought that. And I thought, okay, well, eventually, my hope is, I'm hoping this works out. I hope that I get this thing. But I never changed what I was doing, so I kept getting what I was getting. So 10 years later, 20 years later, I still was waiting. I hope eventually it works out. It hasn't so far. I don't know what's wrong with this universe not just giving me stuff I asked for. Because I wasn't letting go, which meant I was still in a mental tendency, still just doing the same old thing, expecting different things, but you just don't. You keep doing what you're doing, and you keep getting what you're getting. You keep doing what you're doing, and you're not going to open any new doors. It's just all the same old stuff over and over again. If we don't release the weight of the things that we are carrying from our past, We will not have the ability to focus on those hopes and dreams. But here's the thing. We can carry around all the weight in the world. We can carry around all the pain in the world. But we're still going to be aware of inspired dreams. We're still going to be aware of those. Now, sometimes we'll think, I'm so inspired, it feels amazing. But being inspired is not enough. Inspiration is what moves us into hope. But if we don't move into faith, we don't experience anything new. Inspiration is not the transformation. Transformation takes action. Inspiration, we don't have to have any faith to be inspired. We don't have to take action to be inspired. We can be inspired and we can journal about it and talk to our friends on the phone about it, blog about it, go on social media and say, I was so inspired with this wonderful new idea. But until we actually have faith, we abide in faith, we walk in faith, and then do what we are being led to do, nothing changes. We'll still do the same old things, which means we'll still be getting the same old things. So to transform our lives, after we've received the inspiration, like these balloons, after we receive the inspiration, hold as many as you want. You can hold 10 of those if you possibly can. After you receive the inspiration, if you want to keep hanging on to those, you got to drop the weights. You got to drop the old way of doing things. And you've got to drop this idea. I say we, because I got to work on this too a lot. We've got to drop the idea that they'll work themselves out. They'll make themselves happen for us, so we can just sit back, holding all the weight of the past and the struggle and the suffering, and they'll just make themselves happen for us. No, we know what they're going to do? They're going to find a soul that's willing to do the work. Yeah, they're going to find a soul that's going to do the work. You know, once upon a time I had this brilliant idea to write a dream journal. Not a dream journal, a dream book on working with dreams. And I was part of this online esoteric seminary. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to write this dream book. I know so much, and I'm just going to write this book. And I'd say that all the time. Meanwhile, there was another girl about my age. She was also a mom, a couple of kids. She wrote the dream book. Right? And I was like, well, my kids get a little older. When it's rainy outside, so I can sit and drink coffee and write and feel so inspired. But those things didn't happen. She wrote a dream book. And I talked about it for about 2 years. Then I was like, okay, I'm not writing a book. Okay? But she did it. You can actually go on Amazon, and she's got 2 or 3 of them now. She got 2 or 3 of them now because she did the work. That inspiration stayed with her, and then the action, the activity, the guidance, everything came through her because she was acting on it. She proved to that inspiration, I'm willing to do the work. I'm willing to do the work. So we have to do the releasing and the forgiving together to let go of that weight. And then that's how we experience the transformation. Because we let go of the weight, now we're focused on our hopes and dreams. Now we receive divine guidance. It's an action, a divine directive. Do this next. And then we do it because we're not holding on to all this weight. We're holding on to the light and the energy of our inspirations and our hopes and our dreams. Those are light. Those are energetic. That's in motion. It's active. Ready to be born, waiting to be born, bringing everything with it that it could possibly need, that we would need to make it so. It doesn't come along and just say, you figure this out, babe. It comes along with all the instruction. And we have the best experience calling it through us for us as us because we didn't have any idea how to do it. It brought the instruction. So we had that experience of feeling that wonderful, amazing feeling of calling forth like new information that we didn't know about before and taking new action that we hadn't taken before. So that feels amazing. So we're going to do the burning bowl ceremony here in a minute. Taylor is going to lead us through a meditation, and in the meditation you're going to be, hopefully, today receiving some information about what you want to download, what you want to release. Oh, I need to get paper, Annie. I need a bunch of paper cut in half to hand out to everybody. Thank you. Okay, so in this information, you're going to receive information in this meditation. You're going to receive information about what to release. And chances are it's going to have a directive with it. It's like, well, if I'm going to do this, whoa, this is what I'm going to have to actually let go of. We're not just letting go of the thoughts. We're letting go of our reaction, our way of being triggered when we have those thoughts. So we're going to have to change our behaviors. Now, if you don't get anything today, right, or if there's the obvious thing you want to write down, that's okay. There's a good chance you'll receive more information as the week goes on. You'll be inspired. Oh, this is a thing to let go. This is a thing to forgive and let go. Oh, here's another thing to forgive and let go. Okay, and so write those down, but I'm also going to invite you to consider if you think you didn't get something. Sometimes we receive the information, what we have to release, what to forgive, but we look at that and we think, no, that's too hard. I want something easier. Okay, so be willing to consider that maybe it is going to be a hard thing. But it's keeping you from doing something that you want to do now. So you have to do the hard work of releasing this thing, or you're doing the hard work of not getting the thing you want and being sad by that. Okay? So, think about what is it that if you released it, if you forgave it, would allow you to carry more life than you have ever carried. And remember that old ways don't open new doors. If we keep getting what we're getting, we're just going to keep, if we keep doing what we're doing, we're going to keep getting what we're getting. At the beginning of this year, how many things did you write down that you wanted to create this year, and what did you create? If you didn't create it, if there was a habit that you wanted to change, did you manage to change that? If you did not manage to change that, and most of us don't. Like 95% of people abandon their New Year's resolutions. I'm just tired today, guys. Our New Year's resolutions. Most of us abandon our New Year's resolutions before the second week in February. Right? Now, I have resolutions that I'm going to work on that I said I would work on last January too, and the January before that. But at least now I'm paying more attention to them. Before I used to just write them down, I would forget about them by January 3rd. I was like, yeah, I'm not worried about it. I'll work on that next year. There's always next year. But there may not be. There may not be. Now, I don't mean that the year won't be here. What I mean is that if we didn't change something early this year, and we don't change it this next year, the chances that we're going to change it then the following year, it gets slimmer and slimmer, gets smaller and smaller as the years go on, because these behaviors that we're just reacting to life with these behaviors, they're getting more deeply ingrained into our brain. There's actually all this neuro stuff happening, putting a deep, deep groove in our brain, so it's harder and harder and harder to not react to things, to not be triggered by things. If you have a behavior that you wanted to clear out 5 Januaries ago, but you never managed to, it didn't happen, it will be harder this January to clear it than it was 5 Januaries ago, because it's now had 5 years to make that groove deeper and deeper and deeper. Next January, it'll be deeper. The following January, it'll be deeper if we don't catch it now. But we can do it. We can do hard things. We're designed to do hard things. We're designed to be here relying on our soul, relying on divine guidance, and it's how we do hard things. It's how we're guided to do that next thing. We're here, we're born to embody courage and fortitude. We're here to call that forth. So we're doing those things that feel scary. So for us to express that next brightest version of ourselves, we've got to put down those weights. That's what we're doing, putting down those weights. There's a quote that I love. Well, it's not a quote, it's a saying. God has big plans for us. It's too bad that we only focus on what we know we can do on our own. What God does with us, it will be something we've never done before. What God does with us will be out of our comfort zone. What God does with us will take fortitude and courage. What God does with us will require we walk in faith, and that we feel hope, and that we practice peace, and that we abide in love. What God does with us will require all that. To stay reactive in the same place, that doesn't really require anything because we're just going to keep doing it and just keep getting what we're getting. Sometimes we do, though. We think we've got to be able to do it all on our own. We think we have to manage it ourselves. Well, this is a big, beautiful dream, but I think I'm going to get this one over here instead because I've already done that before and I can do that. I know I can do that. So I'm going to do this little dream. Then it'll be fun. I mean, I'll have a good time doing it and I'll be done early because I've already had the experience of doing it. We're here to learn to rely on our soul. In fact, our sole purpose, our one and only purpose on this planet, is to call forth the God qualities through us, to call forth God through us, to call forth the good through us, and just keep practicing doing that all the time. Because we always get presented with a new condition. We always are faced with new obstacles. And it's like, okay, we're calling forth the good again. Again. This is bigger than I've ever managed before. But there's that within me that knows what to do and how to do it, and it compels me to act on what it knows. I've got this. The universe has my back. Okay? The indwelling spirit always has guidance for us. It's compelled to keep telling us the next thing to do. We're just not always listening. So, walking in faith, so we can put down those weights. Now is the time. Now. Like, I'm excited for this week. I'm going to be planning all this stuff out. Now is the time. Whatever you didn't create last year, commit to creating it this year. Commit to reminding yourself, God is all things, and that means me. And that means my inspirations and the dreams. And that means I have that available through me, for me, as me. I'm perfectly capable of embodying faith and courage and fortitude and doing the hard things. That's what I was built for. That's what we are designed to do. So we put down the weights, we forgive, we release, we let go of the weights. And then we change what we do next. We're now free to change what we do next, to say yes, even when it's scary. To say no, even when it means somebody may not like us. Right? We say yes to moving into our new adventure. Okay, whatever those weights represent, whatever. We all have pain and struggle from the past. We all have suffering and stuff. The thing is that there's nothing in that big bag of weight that honors the light that we really are. That big bag of weight, of pain and suffering, it's not worthy of the light that you carry. It's not going to help you get your dreams. It's not going to support you or give you courage or fortitude. It's going to say, let's just get mad again. Let's get resentful again. That's all it's going to offer. So it can add more weight. So it can add more weight to the bag. Our souls need to be untethered from those weights. Our souls, they are those balloons. They are freedom and joy and inspiration and ideas. Our souls are all that. But when we are carrying that heavy weight, the soul's just waiting for us to let it through. And when we can untether ourselves from those weights, that is when we experience that power that creates worlds, working through us, for us, and as us. And that's how we create heaven on earth. So until next time, remember, you were designed to do all this stuff. Right? You are the activity of God walking around in a body on this planet right now. Courage, fortitude, grace, love, prosperity, all of this is available to come through you. You don't even have to look outside yourself anywhere. It's all available coming through us, for us, as us, guiding us into that next best thing. And everything you do, you are blessed. And so it is.
So it is.
So it is.